Sam here with Happily Hooked. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to crochet with a zipper. So we make purses, we make bags, we make cardigans, and we want to be able to add zippers to them, especially if they're for little ones, because you know they're going to just fall off of them or they're going to rip them off, and zippers tend to help keep things in place or close up your bags. So zippers can be pretty tricky, and if you don't have a sewing machine, I don't own a sewing machine. I'm planning on getting one, I just don't have one. It can be a real pain to add zippers to things. So I'm going to show you guys my tips and tricks on how I add zippers to things. If you have any questions, make sure you leave those in the comments below, and I might be doing a part 2 on this to help clarify some things. But I'm going to grab my zipper, my yarn, and my hook, and I'll be with you guys in just a second. Hi friends, when you look in the description below this video, there's going to be a link there that contains free patterns. Make sure you click that, check it out, and I'm so excited to see how you make them. Bye guys. Alright, so like I said, today I'm going to show you guys how to add zippers, or at least get them prepared for your crochet projects. So I bought a bunch of these like zippers on Amazon. They're like 10-inch zippers, and they have like the stopper here, and then they have a spot down here like is also a stopper. I always cut mine. You can see here, obviously if I unzipped it all the way, it would come off. But when I crochet around it, it doesn't come undone, because the yarn will stop it from when it goes across. So what I use, you can like sew these on. I don't have a sewing machine, so I crochet them. So I got this super tiny clover hook. It's a 0.5 millimeter. It actually has a protection shield on the hook because it is so tiny. It's the smallest little hook ever. Little bitty guy. So I always keep this on there so I don't snap that end off, because I probably will. So I got my zipper here, and I've already put the little dots on it. You could use like the heat erase pens if you want to. I just use a regular pen because you're not gonna see it. And then I just use my ruler, and I put little dots at 1/4 of an inch is what works for me. You might want to go smaller. You might be able to go a little bit or a little bit bigger on there. That's okay. But I put them at 1/4 of an inch all the way around my zipper. So all I do is right now I'm using, I have a bunch of embroidery thread because I don't have like actual sewing thread, and I just strip it down to 1 strand. So it's only 1 strand of the embroidery floss or thread or whatever you call it. I'm gonna try and make sure it focuses pretty well for you. It's so small. So we just start at the end, and we just single crochet into all of the spots. And it's tricky and it's time consuming, but for me personally, this looks nicer when I'm adding my crochet or zipper to a crochet project. So it's very time consuming, but I don't have a sewing machine, so this is one of my options. You can hand stitch and do like back stitches on this, I think is what they're called. And you can hand stitch this on there, but I like to crochet, so I don't mind. I don't mind the little tedious work. I'm not a, I don't crochet with thread or floss very easily, but a little bit around a zipper isn't so bad. I'm only gonna do one side of this because I want to show you guys how you would attach this to a project. Because it's gonna take this, I mean, like I said, it takes a while, and then if you mess up, you technically can keep going, but you'll have to go back quite a bit to be able to grab those little tiny loops of yarn or thread. And I just do single crochets. And you want to try and keep your, where you're putting your hook pretty close to the end of the zipper I kind of got a little too tight on that one. That's okay. But you want to keep it pretty close to that. All right, so we have this side of the zipper done. There is a little bit of puckering, and that's just because I went a little bit too tight on it. I want to say once you've done this enough times, it won't do that, but you just really have to be careful with it. But yeah, so we've got our, for most of it on there. And then I'll show you, I'll just cut that real quick. And then there's two ways that you can attach your zipper to your crochet. So you can crochet it on there, and you'll need to use a smaller hook for at least the first like round or two. So like a 2.5 millimeter hook will go into these stitches pretty easily if you're gonna crochet from the zipper down. So if you're making like a little pouch or something like that, you would line your zipper like this, and then you'd start crocheting around the zipper. The other option you can do is you can sew it on there with a tapestry needle and your yarn. So say you already made your little bag or your little pouch, you could take a tapestry needle and you could sew it on there. So So you just take your tapestry needle, thread it onto your needle. Really? This video is going to take me forever to make, ma'am. You have to go out here, okay? I'm sorry. So yeah, you just take your yarn and your tapestry needle, thread that on there, and then you'd be able to add your yarn see, this little tiny hook gets on everything. And you can just sew it around the stitches. And I used a different color thread than the zipper just to show you guys, because it's really hard to see because it's so small. But obviously you would want to use the same color thread as the zipper and or the product that you're making. And then you just loop it around, and you can, this would be sewn onto another piece. So I've got this little swatch over here. I'll cut that and I'll pull this out and I'll show you guys. It's not, this is not like a bag or anything. It's just a swatch that I was testing for another video. So we have our zipper, and we would go into this stitch and into that stitch, into this and into the next, or however you would want to seam those together. You could probably do it like upside down, so that way there was no seam. and it would just kind of blend in to the side, or you can do it the way I am and just kind of loop it around. And zippers aren't obviously added a whole lot, and there's a ton of different ways to add them. There's ways that you can create different stitches so they'll hide in there underneath like an entire row of stitches. This is just the easy, simple, quick way that I add zippers to like little coin purses and bags and things like that. So like this whole pack of zippers, there's like, I think 50 zippers cost me maybe $15 on Amazon, maybe $9, I'm not sure. And I just cut them to whatever size I need them to. You can also like take an actual sewing needle and go through the end of your zipper like this and create a little stopper for the end, so that way your zipper will stop if you're not comfortable with your project doing the work for you. So this stops it so it can't go past that line and the whole zipper won't come undone. But yeah, so that's how I add zippers. It's not the prettiest, easiest, or fastest way to do it. If you have a sewing machine, I highly recommend doing that instead, just to put your stitches around the outside. These hooks, these 0.5mm hooks on Amazon, I think it cost me like $12. So if you're not doing this very frequently and you have a sewing machine, use a sewing machine. Or have a friend put the stitches on the outside of your zipper for you. That would also be helpful. If you want to do it with this, you totally can. Or like I said, you can hand stitch like a, I think they're called back stitches. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not very good with embroidery terminology right now, but you could do back stitches along this as well. That would provide the same type of stitching for you to be able to use. So yeah, so I hope this helps. I know this wasn't like the clearest, most precise tutorial ever, but it's at least a step in the right direction to get you guys putting zippers on things. And as I learn more tricks, I'll be able to show those to you as well, and hopefully I'll have a new video for you in a couple weeks about this. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!